What's going on, guys? It's your boy Post right here, and we're back with another Wi-Fi battle. And this is against my man Trololzor right here. This battle was taken a long time ago, 2-3 weeks ago maybe. I don't remember exactly how long ago it happened, but it happened a long time ago, and I just tried to narrate this game, but it was complete ass, so I just decided, you know what, I've seen the game, my memory's refreshed a little bit, so let me just give it another shot. And then before that, when the game was fresh in my mind, I narrated it, but my mic wasn't plugged in at the time, and I didn't realize that it wasn't plugged in and on, so I wasted like 20 minutes or whatever narrating it, and it wasn't even plugged in, which was mighty unfortunate. But you know what, we're here right now in the modern day, present time, and yeah, we got a game on our hands right here. My team preview, I have a pretty solid advantage, I'd like to say, because Tornadus can win, you know, if he's like Scarflando or whatever, then he can do some damage to me. But other than that, like, I feel like if I just play smart, I'll beat all his stuff with Tornadus eventually, because it's like, Keldeo Tornadus will beat as long as I can hit Hurricanes. Latias I'll beat because I can knock off U-turn whatever Talonflame. It beats me, but it has to come in on potential rocks, and if he's like Spadef, I can knock him off and get on out of there. Venusaur, Hurricane Min is 70%, I believe, but once I get him below 70, which is actually pretty easy to do on Mega Venusaur, especially because he has sand, like he'll be weakening himself, and then, you know, just residual damage, stealth rock, etc, etc, maybe a burn from Rotom Wash, and then T-Tar. I don't have superpower on this Tornadus. I believe this is a heat power, or not a heat power, a heat wave variant. But I can just U-turn and get the Tornadus away, and I don't really care about Pursuit, and then I can just regenerate it back up and be in a good spot. So that's basically just going to be my game plan. Abuse the Broken Big Bird, and we'll see where it takes me. So let's just go ahead and get it in. So my man's Chris right here is challenging me. Issuing me a challenge. He leads off with Tyranitar right away. I'm going to lead off with Tornadus because, like I said, it's really good versus team, and there's no real drawback for me leading it, because even if he leads with something like, well, if he leads Lando, I can just hard switch to something else, and if he leads Tyranitar right here, I can just U-turn away. I can't really do anything to him, but I can just U-turn and go out to something that can, and he can't do anything to me. He doesn't pursue trap me though. I don't know what he goes for this turn. He actually goes for Ice Beam, which is pretty unusual. I know sometimes the Focus Sash sets run Ice Beam, like the Focus Sash Tar, which actually, for a little bit, I thought that's what he was, but he shows me leftovers. But yeah, that's very strange nowadays. Like, even the Focus Sash sets, they run Stone Edge and stuff like that, because everything that Ice Beam hits, Stone Edge hits, but Stone Edge hits harder. But yeah, Pangoro doesn't really care about that. I just go for Banded Superpower because he has nothing on his team to take that, but then again, very few teams do. Latias is his best answer, but look at that still does like 60%. That's a resisted hit. But I mean, Pangoro's it's pretty powerful, dude. Don't underestimate my man's Pangoro, that's all I'm saying. So I'm gonna go Tornadus right here. There's nothing Latias could do to me that I really care about. He has nothing on his team to really Healing Wish. He has no hazards to defog away. The hardest he can hit me with is Draco Meteor, and even then I still take that. It does actually more than I expected, because Latias is usually pretty weak, even with Life Orb and max special attack. Maybe that's modest. It probably isn't though, because modest Latias doesn't make any sense, but that does a lot. Maybe I'm just using a different Tornadus, because I think the Tornadus on this team is supposed to have a lot of HP, but I think I maybe brought the wrong one, but it doesn't matter to me because I can just take the hit. And due to Tornadus having a stupid broken ability, I can just U-turn on out of there, kill the Latias, and be at pretty good HP after Regenerator. I send in Pangoro just because I don't want T-Tar to come in on something else and get rocks up, and Pangoro threatens everything on his team besides Talonflame. And I have Rotom for that, as well as a couple of other little checks. I was gonna go for Will-O-Wisp predicting that, so that has me thinking that he's like a Spadef set. And I don't get to see if there's lefties or not, but because of Will-O-Wisp, I'm thinking that there probably is lefties. He's gonna switch out of there though. Obviously not wanting to take a Volt Switch. Venusaur is pretty obvious, but this was the first time I played Trololzor, and I don't know if he's gonna be the type of player to stay in. Because Spadef Talonflame can take a Volt Switch decently, and he just might want to like stay in and get damage off or get a Swords Dance up. Something along those lines, and because players do that sometimes, so I just went for the Volt Switch because it was safe, even though Will-O-Wisp would have been better on this. The Volt Switch is still the safest play, and to make a Venusaur, like I mentioned earlier, needs to be below 70 in order to die from Hurricane. So I figure that going to Pangoro, that'll just be my thing that can hit it the hardest, and try and get it below 70 so that Tornadus can come in, hit Hurricanes, hopefully, and deal with it. And I just go for knockoff, deal some nice damage. He does make a smart play though of going to Tyranitar, not letting his Venusaur take any more unnecessary damage, but I still get the T-Tar below half, and he knock off the lefty, so T-Tar's gonna stay that way. Fortunately, my Pangoro is pretty much dead at this point, but it did its job of, well, it got a lot of damage on Latias, and it got the damage necessary on Mega Venusaur so that Tornadus T can come in and kill it. So I'm just gonna save it for Switch Fodder later, because I figured that just getting like, what is it, like 20% off with knockoff on the Tyranitar, and then just dying to Sandstorm the next turn, just saving it for Switch Fodder is gonna be better than doing that. And I just go to Azu as he sets up his rocks, and I go to Azu right here because it threatens out T-Tar, and it's going to be able to let me bait in Venusaur. And while Sand is up, Venusaur, first of all, his synthesize? I don't know. But his synthesis will only heal him 25% instead of 50%, so he can't heal as much, and I can bait him in and potentially get a kill with, I can get Sandstorm damage off on him and potentially get a kill with Tornadus. However, I predict him to switch out, which is why I go for U-turn. However, he does decide to stay in with Venusaur, which I find to be very peculiar because he is in Hurricane range. And for some reason, it's still a misconception that Hurricane has 50% accuracy in Sand. That's not true. I don't know how that rumor started, and I know it started a while ago, like in 2010, when Hurricane just came out as a move, people were saying that. And for some reason, people still think that way, maybe because they think that a Hurricane is less accurate in Sand, or like in Sandstorm, which may or may not be true. I don't know the weather, the meteorology of Hurricanes and Sandstorms, but actually, a lot of the hurricanes, like in the Atlantic, start out as dust storms in the Sahara Desert, so you think it actually might make it more accurate. I know that, so I don't know, but anyways, I missed because my Tornadus has cataracts, but I hit him the next time, and because, like I mentioned before, in Sand Synthesis only heals you 25%, he's still not at enough HP to live a Hurricane, and I could take him out. And crit goes down, which I don't think mattered. You'd have to get like absolute min for that to have mattered, in my opinion anyway. And I don't know what he's done to me back. So I take out the Venusaur, it goes to Keldeo. I switch out of there because it looks like he's Scarf, and I go Azu. As we see here though, he is leftovers. I go for Waterfall, predicting him to switch again because I figured that he was Scarf. Not that it really matters too much in this situation because he's leftovers, which indicates Subcom Mind. And Subcom Mind only carries Scald or Hydro Pump and Secret Sword anyway, so not that it matters too much. But because I see the leftovers, which like I said indicates Subcom Mind, I'm just going to go for Waterfall again. I could have gone for a Play Rift to take him out, but I didn't want my Play Rift to miss and have him be super cheeky and set up a substitute in my face, and then have my Play Rough just miss, and then have him be a threat behind the substitute. I just decided I'm just gonna, actually no, I'm Choice Banded. What am I saying? I'm Choice Banded, not Eevee. But regardless, like the logic behind me waterfalling is still the same. I just don't want him to set up a sub, so I just sack off my Zumo right there so he doesn't set up a sub. And now I gotta go to Tornadus, hope I hit a Hurricane. If I don't hit a Hurricane, If I don't hit a Hurricane, I don't think it'll be a big deal because, like I mentioned before, Subcom Mind only carries Stab. He doesn't really carry anything that I think will kill me, even though Skullburn would be annoying. But he just stays in, and thankfully my Hurricane hits, so you don't have to find that out. So he goes Talon right here, and like I mentioned before, he has Will-O-Wisp, so I'm suspecting him to be Spadef Talon, so if I get burned, I'm not really stressing too much, because I don't think I need to be not burned for anything. And Brave-Bird won't be able to take me out from there from 0 attack Talonflame, so I just knock him off so he doesn't have lefties, because I figure that'll help me more later down the road. He goes to Lando though, and I can knock him off, and then I can just follow up with the U-turn. And now I can go to Garchomp on the Lando. HP Ice Lando doesn't exist anymore, and that was his Scarfer, so being able to knock that off is going to be really good for me later in the game, because that means that that's another Sulfur Tornadus to snatch up. He goes for U-turn on me though, even though Rocky Helmet was kinda obvious, so I think that he just went to Tyranitar anyway. I feel like going for U-turn was kind of a waste, and he just let his Lando take unnecessary damage, but it's not that big of a deal. I can get rocks up now though for free anyway. Like I said, if he was HP Ice, then I would have just been like, you're an absolute dog, Trololzor, but he is not HP Ice like most Landos aren't. Like, I've seen HP Ice Lando in ORAS twice, so I really wasn't really stressing about that, and I could have lived anyway. So he goes to Tyranitar, I just get rocks up like I said, and now I gotta switch out of there because I know he's Ice Beam. Mega Scizor can take it on pretty well, and I decided to go for BP in case he's Fire Blast because I figured it would be able to take him out. But he's actually that really bad Fizz Def Tyranitar set that was floating around in XY. I don't even remember why that set was popular in XY, but it's a really bad Tyranitar set. Trololzor, if you see this, you gotta stop using that set, dude. Fizz Def Tyranitar is not good, or maybe my Scizor is just ass and it didn't kill for some reason, but I'm pretty sure that's like Fizz Def Talon. Not Fizz Def Talon, Fizz Def Tar. If it could lift BP from there. But that actually made me scared for a little bit, because at this point, like, Mega Scizor sweeps. And yeah, like Mega Scizor sweeps, and I thought I would have got roasted by Fire Blast, but he doesn't have it, he just went for Pursuit, so that's pretty good for me. So anyways, Talon comes in, he goes for Brave Bird, that does a ton, so I think that means he's banded. After the game he said that he was either banded or Sharp Beak, I don't remember which. So had he just stayed in and Brave Birded my Tornadus right there, that could have been really bad, because losing my Tornadus obviously would have been bad, because that's one of my months that could potentially win the game, even though with a banded Talon running around, that's not good. So he was like really sad in the chat, because at this point I was giving him the business, so I just decided to stay in with Scizor kind of out of pity, which I shouldn't have done, because had he gotten a crit on me, then I maybe could have lost to this Talonflame. Maybe, I kind of doubt it though, because he has rocks up and I still have like Rotom and Garchomp, so I don't know, but it just wasn't the right play to do. Like, I should have switched out, gone to Rotom or Garchomp, and moved on from there, because keeping my Scizor healthy is the most optimal play. So Lando comes in now, has to come in on rocks. He can take me out with Stone Edge though, but I decide I think just Will-O-Wisp him, because Scizor comes in and deals with him. He doesn't even go for the rock type move, he just goes for U-turn. And yeah, I just go for Will-O-Wisp, because not doing anything to this Lando is not good. Especially because I have 0 attack investment on my Scizor, so he might be able to live one, and then he can score like a crit Earthquake, and then Bad News Bears may potentially ensue. Probably not though, because I still have Tornadus, but I figure that the 85% accuracy from Will-O-Wisp is going to be better for me than the 80% accuracy from Hydro Pump. And yeah, he just goes for Rock Slide, takes me out. Thankfully, the Will-O-Wisp hits and my voice is starting to go down. But Will-O-Wisp is able to hit, and Scizor can just come in and clean up at this point. Oh my god, dude, I'm dying. But yeah, I could just come in at this point, clean up the Lando, and I think that's his last Mon. So that'll be the game, and yeah, that's the game. GG's Trololzor. He had a pretty standard-ish team. Not even. I really wouldn't even say it's standard right now. It was standard a while ago. It's just that his team. I think the biggest issue is that his team was kind of outdated. Like, yeah, his team is definitely outdated, and my team, because it's not necessarily outdated, it could deal with all his stuff because I know how to deal with it now, or I can team build and deal with it because, you know, it's old and we've adapted to it. So I honestly think that's the biggest problem. I don't think there was any major area where he misplayed. I just think that his team was outdated and my team was prepared to handle it. Like, all I had to do was just not mess up, and I pretty much won with Tornadus, and like Scizor ended up coming through for me anyway, like Rotom, all those things. Like, he just has difficulty dealing with my team, which is unfortunate. But if you see this Trololzor, you gotta switch up your team, man. But other than that, it was still a cool, fun game. Pangoro didn't get to do much, which is unfortunate, but Pangoro did his job, got the paycheck, it's all good. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully there'll be another Wi-Fi game coming soon after this. And later, friends.